Good morning, Hustle Nation. It's all about the principles and power of vision today, unleashing your full potential as we continue our review of the late, great Dr. Myles Munroe's book on the principles and power of vision, keys to achieving personal and corporate destiny. So do me a favor, go ahead and comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand. Just don't share any links. And I would love to give you a free business shout out. But we're going to go ahead today, man. When you unlock your vision, you got to understand that there is the potential for you to fulfill that thing already built in. So let's get into it. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, Ultimate Hustlers and Digital Empire Builders, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from myperfectmoneyplan.com. Listen, man, if you do not have a plan for your money, I guarantee you this, everybody else does. But I want to invite you to take a look at our program. If you are looking to save money, grow money, or even make more money, then myperfectmoneyplan.com is the place for you. Go check it out and you'll see how we're helping thousands upon thousands of hardworking men and women all across this nation understand that the number one wealth building tool in this country is the United States tax code. And the only way you can access that tax code is through the power of entrepreneurship. So go check out myperfectmoneyplan.com if you want to save money, make money, and grow money. The question for today, and y'all know it's Wednesday, so we're doing our drawing today to give away a free vacation. So question of the day is, what is the single most significant change you can make in 2021? What is the single most significant change you can make for yourself in 2021? Put QOTD in the comments and then your answer. That's how I know to put your name in the drawing to win the free vacation later this afternoon. A couple quick announcements before we dive all the way into the principles and powers of vision. Part 2, I told you guys this is going to be a multi-part series. This book is heavy, so we just got to really take our time and go through it. But a couple quick announcements really quickly. I want to shout out and give a huge thank you to all of those who participated in the Digital Product Bootcamp. It has been a massive, massive success. Lots of breakthroughs, lots of excited and powerful entrepreneurs are about to start unleashing a ton of great products and services based on attending the boot camp. So I want to send a huge shout out to everybody who has participated and supported that event. Also, the Cortez Hustle Show blog is officially up and running. If you are new to the show and you want to go back and look at some of the historical podcasts that we've done in the past, that stuff is being loaded up to the tune of about 3 or 4 from the archive every single day. And plus, I'm giving you 2 free gifts just for going to hang out on the podcast or the blog. So if you go to thecortezhustleshow.com, that's where the blog resides. And man, it's just great content there. You can hear from our sponsors. There's lots of resources being added for entrepreneurs to grow and explode their businesses. So yeah, you definitely want to check that out. And speaking of resources, make sure you check out the show notes and look at the details in the comments. I got tons of great resources listed and linked in the comment section after each show that will help you grow and build a bigger, more bold, more robust brand using the internet and social media. So we love to start the Cortez Hustle Show with a quote. Write in the comments one of your favorite quotes that you like to lean on in tough times, or when you need to motivate yourself, when you need to pick yourself up, then definitely leave your favorite quote. But today's quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show is, your vision will become clear when you look into your own heart. He who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakens. And man, that's by Carl Jung. I'm reading to you one more time. Your vision will become clear when you look into your own heart. He who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakens. Carl Jung. Listen, man, your gifts, your talents, everything that God put in you is in you. You just got to look there. And for most of us, that is the very last place that we want to look. We look everywhere else for what we need to go to the next level, except for on the inside of us. I believe that you really don't have to ask God for anything. I believe that since before he created you, he put everything in you, and you don't have to ask for anything. Just like a tree seed has everything in it to become a full-grown, full-blown tree, I believe you have everything within you to become a full-grown, full-blown, whatever that vision God has for you and his purpose on your life. Here's the thing. In order for that tree to maximize that potential, all that needs to happen is for that seed to be placed in the right environment. And I believe the same is true for you and I. All that needs to happen for us is for us to be placed in the right environment, and we can maximize our full potential. So that is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. So let's get into the principles and power of vision. If you have not already done so, go ahead and comment the name of your business and or your brand, and tell us a little bit about it without posting any links. I love to give free business shout outs. And if you haven't answered the question of the day, put QOTD and give your answer. What is the single biggest or the single most significant change you can make in 2021? All right, so let's talk about the principle and power of vision. So this chapter, as I got into this book, we're on chapter number 2 in this book, and the principle is know your potential to fulfill your vision. And I kind of want to read an excerpt before we get started on the 12 chapter principles. But the excerpt is this. He says, we must come into an awareness of our potential. Potential is hidden capacity, untapped power, unreleased energy. It is all you could be, but haven't yet become. Potential is who you really are in accordance with your vision, even if you don't yet know your true self. Potential is the person who has been trapped inside you because of false ideas of who you are, either your own or others. God has created you to do something wonderful, and He has given you the ability and the resources you need to do it, right? One of the things that comes to mind when I think about having the ability to fulfill and create and do what we need to do is imagine a video game. And I used to do the Mario series when I was a young man. And imagine the creators of that game created the game and all the levels with no possible way for you to beat the game. Right? You are running around in these worlds, Super Mario Land, Super Mario World, your favorite adventure game, your favorite first-person one-player game, and there's no possible way for you to beat the game. How fair would that be? The same is true with our Creator. He didn't create us on purpose, for a purpose, and not bury deep within inside of us every single thing that we need to accomplish the mission. I just don't believe that. I just don't believe that. So the moment you discover why you're here, you'll also discover the power and the potential that you have to execute and fulfill that mission. So let's look at the chapter principles, and there are 12 of them, and we'll go through them as well as hit you with the 1-minute motivation and what say ye and all the other things that we love to do here on the Cortez Hustle Show. Number 1, you will never be successful in your vision until you truly understand your potential. You will never be successful in your vision until you truly understand your provision. See, some of us are trapped in who somebody else told us we were. And what's funny is that person could have been your mom, could have been your dad, could have been somebody that you know, love, and respect. And that person told you who you are and didn't realize that they were putting a limit on you. That's not how you were created, man. You have to understand the potential that lives within you. And all you got to do is look around. When I look around at some of the great accomplishments that other people are making, it helps me to understand that I have the potential to do great things too. I just got to continue to dig deep. I got to continue to take the actions. I got to continue to learn the lessons. I got to continue to grow. I got to continue to put myself in the right environment in order for that potential to be fulfilled. Number 2, your potential is determined by the assignment that God gave you to do. Whatever you were born to do, you are equipped to do. Right? Whatever you are born to do, you are already equipped to do. And I think that's one of my superpowers, is that I really, really believe that. I really believe that I have everything in me to go to the next level and build this media empire that will one day surpass Ted Turner and Walt Disney. I believe I have everything already in me. But I also know that there's going to be some challenges that I'm going to have to go through
or should I say some challenges I'm going to have to grow through in order to unlock other levels of my potential, right? Just like in those video games, when you start going from one level to the next, you start unlocking new powers that are going to be necessary for you to beat that level. And it's all like, man, I didn't even know this character could do that. Well, that's because it had no necessity. There was no need for that character to do that on the previous level. But on this level right here, oh yeah, you need to be able to shoot fire from your butt or whatever the character can do on this level. So just understand, as you march down the path of fulfilling that vision, just know that the vision, you are already equipped for the mission. You have everything that you need for the mission. You just have to believe that. And at the right time, when you need the right weapon, it's going to appear. Just know that. Number 3, God gives ability to fulfill responsibility, right? He gives ability for you to fulfill your responsibility, right? It's like my God-given duty as a man is to be a provider and a protector of my family. So he gave me the ability to provide so that I can fulfill that responsibility. He gave me the capacity to grow strong so I can protect my family, so I can fulfill the responsibility for everything that I'm doing, right? He gives you the ability to fulfill responsibility. When you discover your dream, you will also discover your ability, because it's already there, man. It's already locked in. But we've got to get out of the habit of looking everywhere else instead of looking within. It's in you. This is why I'm big on quiet time, right? And some people call it meditation. I just call it quiet time. I like to, when I get in the car, I don't like the radio to already be on, because there's a distraction, right? When I'm in the house and I'm not intentionally watching television, I don't like the TV to just be on, right? Because that's a distraction. I like to be in quiet moments where there is nothing but me and my thoughts, right? Because I'm looking within myself to find the answers to fulfill the vision and the purpose, the mission that I've been put on this earth to fulfill. And a lot of times that quiet time simply leads me to different environments. Because remember, you could plant a seed and the soil might not be the best, and that seed might grow. It even might bear fruit. But that don't mean it has reached its potential. You have to put that seed in the right environment for it to reach its full potential. And you'll see 2 different plants when you get that seed in the right environment. This is why you see transformations in people when they change their environment, because now their potential starts to be revealed to them, and ability starts to be unlocked in them that they had no clue that lied within them. Environment, man. Are you creating the environments where you spend the majority of your time that are conducive for success? Right? It is 7:20 a.m. right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. So y'all know what time it is, man. That means it's time for 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. This is where I play a short 1 minute motivation video. And I ask that you give one takeaway from the video, and I'll give a couple takeaways from the video myself. And we'll just share in this moment. I'm a huge believer in personal growth and self-development. I also understand that everything you consume is part of personal growth and self-development. So don't get it twisted that it's only when I'm reading a positive book I'm growing and developing myself personally. No, whatever you consume is part of personal growth and self-development. So be intentional, people. Let's check out today's 1 minute motivation.
See, but the real challenge of growth, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, comes when you get knocked down. How you handle it, that's where the growth takes place. What has brought you to this point? What did you learn from it? Are you learning anything, or are you doing it over and over and over again? Are you going through it, or are you growing through it? Are you bigger and better because of it? Things are going to happen to you, and the most important thing to do is to harness your will and let it go. I'm in control here. I'm not going to let this get me down. I'm not going to let this destroy me. I'm coming back, and I'll be stronger and better because of it. You have got to make a declaration that this.
Oh, crap. It was just getting good, ladies and gentlemen. But comment or takeaway that you heard thus far, there was a couple more seconds of that I wanted to finish out. I'm not sure why it froze up on me. But man, have you guys made a declaration that you're going to do great things, that you are going to be a great person, that you are going to leave a mark on this world and not a stain? Have you declared that about yourself and over your life? See, when it comes to growth, it happens when you get knocked down. See, that's the difference between perseverance and persistence. See, I can persistently go through and push through obstacles. But what happens when those obstacles knock me on my butt? Do I have the courage to get up, learn the lesson, and keep moving forward? At the end, he really went hard on talking about taking responsibility. I don't care whose fault it is, right? Will Smith does a great talk on fault versus responsibility. A lot of us spend a lot of time talking about whose fault it is that we're in our situation. Make no never mind whose fault it is when it's my responsibility to fix it. Right? If I'm in pain, it makes no never mind that I'm in pain if I'm responsible for my healing. So yeah, you can spend a lot of time pointing the finger at who may have caused that pain, but at the end of the day, you got to fix it. So why waste the time pointing the finger when you can just get on with the business of fixing it? So declare over your life today, if you have not, that you're going to win, right? No matter what your circumstances look like, declare today that you're going to win. It's kind of like watching a boxing match that has been pre-recorded, and you know who wins at the end. You just haven't seen the fight yet. So as you're watching the fight, you're watching the person who you know is going to win. Man, you're watching them get knocked down every round. You're watching their eyes swell up, their nose is broken, their jaw is broken. And you're thinking to yourself, but at the end, this person wins. How in the heck do they pull that off? That's me, y'all. Doesn't matter what the circumstance or the situation look like, I win. You got to declare that over your life. That is 1 Minute Motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. 1 Minute Motivation is brought to you by myperfectmoneyplan.com. If you don't have a plan for your money, ladies and gentlemen, everybody else does. Go to myperfectmoneyplan.com and learn how you could save money, make money, and grow money with a simple system where a team of professionals will help you every step of the way. myperfectmoneyplan.com. So we are talking about the principles and power of vision, right? The principles and power of vision. This is a book that I got for my birthday a few years ago by Dr. Myles Munroe. And I just love his work, man. He is a very spiritual guy, and at the same time, he takes religion out of Christianity and really brings practical application. And that's what I love. So let's just recap what we did so far. We did the first, I believe, 3. You will never be successful in your vision until you truly understand your potential. Your potential is determined. Number 2, your potential is determined by the assignment God gave you to do. Whatever you were born to do, you were equipped to do. Number 3, God gives ability to fulfill responsibility. When you discover your dream, you will also discover your ability. Number 4, our power or potential is at work in us. God put his vision and his spirit within us, and that is more than enough potential for our needs. We ain't got to look nowhere else, y'all. It is already built in. We just have to make sure that we are controlling the environments and creating those environments that are conducive for winning, for maximizing that potential. And let me say this, man. Make sure you're doing this for your children as well. Pay very close attention, right? The Bible talks about raising a child up in the way that they should go, right? And I heard a pastor years ago talk about this very scripture, and he said, really, that word means according to the way that they're bent. See, we think we should raise them in according to the way that they should go, meaning moral, meaning their character, meaning we should raise them up. If we're Christians, we should raise them up as Christians. We should raise them to do the right thing, to love their neighbor and all that stuff. Yeah, that's by default, right? Scripture also said that was already written on their hearts, but we should be raising them according to how they are bent, meaning we should help them identify their purpose, their mission, their goals, their dreams early in life, and raise them and put them in the environments that will help them maximize their potential according to not what we want to see them win at, but more so what they were born to win at, right? As parents, it's not an easy thing, man. We've got pride, we've got egos, and we want to live vicariously through our children sometimes. So if you are a sports guy, you want your kids to be a sports guy, right? If you're a singer, you want your daughter to be a singer. If you're a dancer, you want your daughter to dance. And sometimes we can force them into situations where they will never live their best life, because it is the early stages, guys, that sets the tone, that sets the pace. Think about it. Somebody set a trigger in you that is still affecting you today, and they might have done that when you were 5, 6, or 7 years old. And sometimes those triggers aren't always positive. So make sure you're paying attention to the things that your children love, because it's those things that they love as that will help guide them to their dreams, their gifts, their passions, and that's what leads them to their purpose. So number 4, our power or potential is at work in us. God put his vision and his spirit within us, and that is more than enough potential for our needs. Number 5, God will do immeasurably or exceeding abundantly beyond all that we can ask for, think about, or imagine. Our imaginations are not big enough for all that he wants to do for us. And that right there is something for me to hear, because I got a big imagination, right? But this says he's going to do above all that I can think or even imagine, right? So when I imagine being on the 52nd floor of my high rise, looking out of my corner office, and at this time, my high rise is the biggest in the city, but I'm looking across the horizon and I see another high rise being built that's going to be 10 stories taller than mine. So I'm no longer going to be distinguished as a guy with the tallest skyscraper in the city, because another skyscraper is coming up. And I see myself being exceedingly glad and joyful, because the builder of that skyrise, that high rise is going to be 10 stories taller than mine, is one of my sons. See, I think that's a huge vision, but this is telling me that my vision, my imagination can't even compete with what God really wants to do. And when I talk to my son about building a skyscraper that's bigger than his pops, and we have the conversation, and the reason I can't be mad and upset and I take my ego out of the way, I said, Dad, you've done a wonderful thing for us all. You've laid the foundation. You've put into us all that you are. But there comes a time in every man's life where they have to step out of their father's shadow. And now I'm going to put you in mine. And that's not a bad thing. See, that's the kind of vision that I have for me and mine, the empire that I want to build, the mark that I want to leave on this planet. I've got a 1,000-year game plan, right? Just me. But according to this, my imagination is nothing compared to all that God wants to do in and through the purpose that he built me for. Number 7. Number 6. God gave us the gift of imagination to keep us from focusing only on our present, right? And really quickly, let me give you guys the question of the day. If you have not responded to the question of the day, y'all know it's Wednesday, so we're going to do a drawing and somebody is going to win a free vacation. So the question of the day is, what is the single most significant change you can make in 2021? Y'all know I'm going to give my answer towards the end of the show, but put QOTD and give your answer. What is the single most significant change you can make in 2021? That is the question of the day. And if you respond to the question of the day, I'll put your name into a drawing, and we give away a free vacation every Wednesday at noon Central Time, right here live, so you can see if you're going to win today. So God gives us the gift of imagination to keep us from focusing only on our present. And what a great gift that is, because my story is one of suffering from abuse and neglect as a kid. And when I tell you my imagination saved me, when I tell you it was my ability to escape into the recesses of my own mind to deal with the trauma, it saved me. right? It kept me from focusing on the negative situation, right? And going back to our children, man, talk to your kids about the things that they're imagining. Talk to your kids about why they spend so much time in their imagination, because it might be because they're escaping some trauma that you know nothing about. Talk to them about that imaginary friend. Talk to them about this imaginary world that they see themselves in all the time and why they feel safe there. Right? And even as adults, when things aren't going my way and things have hurt me or disappointed me, I can go to that vision of my son building a skyscraper taller than mine. I can go to my vision of the All Amateur Sports Network and covering some of the biggest youth sports in the world. I can go to my visions and I can imagine having a conversation with the Cortez hustle of 2025, 2030, 2045. Are you leveraging the power of your imagination? Or have you, like a lot of people, been taught and trained that imagination is a waste of time? Understand something, y'all. Everything that has ever been created on this planet was created 3 times. Right? It was created in the mind first. It was created on paper second. And then it was actually created in the physical reality. So don't let people tell you to stop dreaming, to stop daydreaming. And for God's sake, don't do that to your children. Boy, all you do is sit around and daydream. I was often accused of, it was like, man, when I was in high school, I went to a school where I didn't know a whole lot of people. And my wife was in the same high school before. We didn't get together until long after high school. But she would recall that when I was in school, she said there was just something that said and spoke out to me that you were just always in another world. And I was. I learned the power of my imagination at a very, very young age, unfortunately, because of trauma. But maybe I shouldn't say unfortunately. Maybe it wasn't unfortunate, right? She's like, man, I just remember you just used to be on your own world all the time. Yeah. Don't let nobody tell you, man. One of the forms of wealth, and Dr. Dennis Kimbrough's book, Wealth Choice, and even if you go back to his cover, Think and Grow Rich, A Black Choice, he talks about one of the forms of wealth is imagination. But we can get caught up. We can get caught up in thinking that that's childish, and it could cause us to really set ourselves back. Number 7, whatever God calls you for, he provides for. Whatever he requires, he enables us to do. Whatever God calls for, he provides for. Whatever he requires, he enables us to do. Good morning, MF and Teasy. We got to think about that, and this is why we should be able to better manage our fear, especially when we as Christians will say all the time, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, right? And then God sends you on a mission and you're shaking in your boots. Wait a minute, you just said you can do all things. And you know he wouldn't ask you to do something that you were incapable of doing, if he wasn't going to be there with you. Just like when he called Moses to go lead the children of Israel, Moses said, but I stutter. Don't worry, I got you. Aaron, roll with him. See, whatever he calls for, he provides for. Whatever he requires, he enables us to do. So we should be moving with bold actions because of our faith. Right? Number 8, we're talking about the Principles and Power of Vision by Dr. Myles Munroe. And in every chapter, he gives his chapter principles. So number 8, your ability isn't dependent on what you perceive as your limitations. You are perfect for your purpose. Man, our limitations come from us. Our limitations come from something that somebody said to us and spoke to us years ago. This is why you got to be careful and guard your mind. You got to be careful and guard the minds of your children. Somebody spoke a word over you, to you, and into you when you were a child that's affecting you right now today. See, when I look at my duty to be a provider and a protector of my family, it's not just being a physical protector of my family. It was my responsibility to make sure that I scoped out the environment that I allowed my sons to be in before I sent them there. That's my responsibility. And I'm not saying I did that every time, but when I look back on it, if somebody spoke a word that's holding one of my kids back today, I know that's partly my responsibility if I didn't scope out that environment and say, nope, I can't let you go there, son, because they speak curses over people without even realizing it. I can't let you hang out with this group of kids because their parents call them stupid all the time. And I don't want you to think because their parents call them stupid and you hang out with them by default, you're stupid. So I've got to protect the environment that I'm allowing my children to be in. And we don't even think about this, y'all. Some of the time, the people who spoke that negative word into your children's lives were their teachers. Their coaches. It's difficult to think about because our society has it set up that says, hey, I got to go to work. Therefore, my kid got to go to school. I can't afford private school, so I got to send them to public school. And whatever goes on in the public school, as long as my kid comes home safe, it's all right. Question is, did your kid really come home safe, though? They may not have come home with any physical signs of abuse, but sometimes mental torment doesn't show up for years. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. Right? So number 8, your ability isn't dependent on what you perceive as your limitations. You are perfect for the purpose. Number 9, dreams are given to us to draw out what's already inside of us and to activate God's power and enabling us to achieve our vision. Right? See, that dream, that hope, that faith, that thing that's tugging at you, it is there to draw out what's already inside you. what's already inside you is being drawn out by the vision and the dream? Are you taking action based on the vision or the dream, or are you so caught up, man, I just got to get to this job so I can get this check so that I can put food on the table? And this isn't job bashing. I want to encourage you that that's fine if that's where you are from 9 to 5. But let me ask you about your 5 to 9. Let me ask you about your 9 to midnight, your 9 to 1, your 9 to 2. See, you can do your 9 to 5, and that can take care of you right now. But you can then, from 5 p.m. to 9 p.m., a couple of days a week, work on your vision, work on your dream, work on fulfilling this mission, this calling. And if you really want to get gangster with it, from 9 to midnight, from 9 to 1 in the morning, 9 to 2 in the morning, that might be the time that you dedicate to pursuing this calling and allowing God to draw out that which is already in you to win. Number 10, God appoints, anoints, and distinguishes people. He doesn't like them to get lost in mediocrity. God gives us dreams to deliver us from mediocrity, and to reveal our true selves to the world. Are you caught up in the world of mediocrity? And Lord forbid, you are just a little bit better than everybody in your circle. Now you start feeling yourself, right? What if I told you that, yeah, you are doing better than most, but what if I told you that most are living below average lives? So your better than most is only average. I want y'all to think about that for a minute. You are doing better than most, not because you're above average, but because everybody else is below average. Man, this society that we live in, it does a really, really good job of causing people to stay in the proverbial box, right? Oh man, you got to figure out how will you maximize all that is in you and let the chips fall where they may. Whether that me maximizing all that is in me, whether that means I'll be a multi-billionaire, whether that means I will leave the mark that I want to leave on this world, none of that really matters. I heard Les Brown say today when I was working out, he said, live full and die empty. That's my goal. To live full, to go full out, to give it everything, to use every ounce of my ability, my intellect, my talent, my physical capabilities, to live full and die empty. Right? To flat out go for it. That's my goal. Number 11, the ability to accomplish your vision is manifested when you say yes to your dreams and obey God. I got a cousin who's more like an aunt to me, named Velma. And every time I see Miss V, she asks me, am I preaching yet? Are you preaching yet? And because somewhere down the line, she saw me as a person ministering, right? A person preaching, a person teaching. And so every time I would see her, I was like, no, Auntie, I ain't preaching. Why you keep saying that? Right? And look what I'm doing now. See, just like there are people that'll speak a negative word into your life, so a negative seed to cause you to think negative limitations about yourself. You got some people that God placed in your life, man, that'll speak a word that'll save your life too. Every time I would see it, she would say, "Are you preaching yet?" Right? She's like, "Get off them streets, man. You ain't supposed to be ministering in that way. You supposed to be ministering in a different way. What are you doing, son? Are you preaching yet?" So now when I see her, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I am. And thank you for speaking that word over my life all the time. Right? Number 11. That was number 11. The ability to accomplish your vision is manifested when you say yes to your dream. Have you said yes to your dream? Have you said yes to your dream? That is the question. Have you said yes to your dream? I'm not saying have you said yes to doing what you want to do to make a whole lot of money, because that might not be the dream. That might be a dream. But have you said yes to the dream? And everybody knows what it is. But because it won't leave you alone. It will not leave you alone. Are you going to go your whole life without answering that call? Not responding to it? Or will you have the courage to say yes to it and unlock the potential that is already lying within you? That is my question. So speaking of question, we are at the top of the hour, man. So let me see if anybody answered the question of the day. Cameron says, "Hey, question of the day: getting uncomfortable with getting comfortable with the uncomfortable." That is his single most significant change you can make in 2021. So the question of the day is, what is the single most significant change you can make in 2021? Put QOTD and answer the question, and that's how I know to put you into the drawing to win the free vacation. So for me, as I answer my answer to the question of the day, what is the single most significant change I will make in 2021? Is I'm going to up my ask, right? I heard Steve Harvey speak on a video just the other day, and he said one of his favorite scriptures is, "You have not because you ask not." And he said he started to up his ask, right? Ask for bigger, believe for bigger, imagine bigger. Single biggest, most significant thing I'm going to do. I just realized that as big as my imagination is, as grand as my dreams are, they're not big enough. I'm not believing big enough. I'm not asking big enough. Because just like all of us, I deal with self-limiting beliefs and doubts myself. So the single most significant thing that I will be doing in 2021 is believing bigger, believing more, asking more of God, allowing him to use me in bigger and bolder capacities to fulfill my purpose. Put me in the right environment so that I can grow to my fullest potential. Yeah, that's what I got going on for 2021. So I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in this morning. I am super, super excited and appreciative of all the love, the engagement. So I hope that this episode of the Cortez Hustle Show has blessed your spirit as it has so blessed mine. Until I talk to you guys next time, I want you to get your money up, because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.